don't care for rules. Just had some liquid energy. I don't know why I'm so tired. I woke up at like 6 a.m. this morning for no fucking reason and just was dragging. It's taking me 8 hours to get out. Man, I've been dragging lately. I don't know what the fuck. Look how cute that exhaust is. This guy's got to have like a 500 or something like that, because the exhaust is like one of those like pretend like I'm gonna have really wide looking tips, but then it's got a little tiny pipe in the inside. That's funny. Well, the guy knows how to ride. What's up, Paramoto fam? I'm back at you with another video. Yeah, a little bit of a topic for you today. So I've been watching more and more videos lately of people getting on a sport bike. So my favorite motovlogger, hands down, has got to be Chase on Two Wheels. Like, he's probably like the dude that I got into like the most, you know. And I love his videos. I like his style and everything. I like just about everything about him. He drops this bomb that he's not into sport bikes anymore. I'm like, what? Chase is saying that he's not into sport bikes anymore, and he wants to get out of sport bikes and get like a Street Fighter, like a standard bike. And then like the next day, or like within the next couple of days, I watched a video of Cycle Cruiser saying that he's also getting rid of his Super Sport. He's got a CBR 1000 RR, and he's gonna sell it to get something, you know, like a naked standard as well, like a Street Fighter. It's like, damn, dude, like everybody's getting on of super bikes. So the question that I posed to you guys today is, can you grow out of super bikes? Is it time to like be an adult and like get rid of your super bike and go buy like a more practical bike? Like, I kind of understand it. Like, I really do. People get out of sport bikes because of a lot of reasons. They're not comfortable, right? And you want to get something a little bit more comfortable when you get a little bit older. Like, these are track focused machines. Like, these machines are made to go fast and to lean over, and they're basically 100% track oriented. So the fact that these are track bikes and they're not meant to, you know, be in stop and go traffic, they're not meant to really be comfortable. Like, being comfortable on these bikes is secondary. It's secondary to going fast. I like them. I got into sport bikes mainly, like, number one, like, you can't help but get sucked into them because they look so aggressive and so mean, and just, they look cool, right? And then their performance is just top notch. So that's really what sucks a lot of people into sport bikes at first, is that they look mean and they're really fast and they're performance oriented. You sacrifice comfort, you sacrifice the ability to stay on them for a long time. Like, I hear people that get on their bikes and go on, you know, long road trips all the time, and it's like, on this bike you gotta try, like, you gotta want to do it. So I think Chase was saying that he's getting out of it because he had back problems. You know, these bikes aren't meant for, you know, these aren't meant for, like, you know, people with any sort of pre-conditioned conditions, you know. And like, honestly, like, I worked out a lot, so I'm still in pretty decent shape. So like, I can handle a lot of the stress and the uncomfortableness of these things. So I don't know about Chase and what his physical, you know, physical fitness is, but like, if you're physically fit, like, you can ride these bikes. Like, your back is strong enough. You know, he brought up a really good point. He brings up good points saying that these bikes aren't made for like city traffic, right? Like, so he goes out into the city to really explain why they're not made for it. And it's like, they're not made to be comfortable going stop and go, you know, stopping light to light, you know, they're uncomfortable, they get warm, you know. And he makes a really good point. You know, something that I actually think about when I ride these bikes is that you have this bike, this super bike, that can do so much, and you don't utilize it. It's just that it doesn't really make 100% sense, right? A lot of people seem to be doing nowadays is that I've seen more and more people moving away from super sports and like this, like, you know, this isn't a super sport, this is a super bike. I see more and more people moving away from these, and it almost seems to me like a lot of people are moving away from them. It's almost like a natural progression, is that you kind of grow out of the super bikes and you get something a little bit more practical. You go and you get, you know, an FC09, MC10, or even a cruiser. I see a lot of people moving up into cruisers and everything. It's kind of like sad to me, you know. It's like an end of an era. To me, it just kind of seems like you're kind of giving up. These are the bikes that always attracted me to motorcycling, was the sport bikes. It was the fast bikes that look mean, you know, and that's what I like. So I mean, I'm sticking to this thing. You know, I'm not giving up on this thing anytime soon. Chase is going for more comfortable, and then, you know, Psycho Cruiser is saying he wants something a little bit more practical. Like, there's no point of having a howitzer when you need to go deer hunting, right? It's sad and boring, but I understand it. We've already talked about Chase wanting to get a more comfortable, practical bike. And then we talked about Psycho Cruiser wanting a more practical bike. Like, he doesn't want it to be super fast on the top end, wants more mid-range. Another thing you can think about, like, when you're moving away from sport bikes is cost of ownership, saving money, cost of insurance and stuff like that. Like, these aren't cheap bikes to own and insure. Like, you have to have insurance on your bikes if you're going to take them on the streets in, like, every state. I pay like $130 a month for insurance. It's fucking expensive here, you know, and that'll change depending on where you live, you know. Like, there's more rates of accidents here, so it's a little bit more expensive. You know, there could be less where you live. Bikes might get stolen less where you live, so you might pay a little bit less. But, like, if I had like my girlfriend only pays like $30 a month, so that's like $100 a month savings for simply just owning a different bike. It's like the payments will be more expensive on these bikes as well, because banks want to get their money out of you as fast as possible. You know, banks don't really want to finance these bikes because they know the rates of wrecks are so high that, like, once you wreck them, you're probably going to stop paying on it, or a lot of people will stop paying on it, and then they're out a lot of money. There's a lot of costs and a lot of risks associated with super sports and super bikes that people don't really want to touch them. A Supermoto, man, you could probably buy that thing for like $3,000 to $5,000, brand new, and then your insurance is going to be dirt cheap because the CC displacement is really low, and it's a dual sport motorcycle. Another thing to take into account when you're getting a bike, or, you know, when you decide to move on from super bikes, is that, so without all the power and grunt, people actually, you get yourself in a lot less trouble. Like, I've actually known somebody that's gotten, you know, a careless and reckless, or had a risk of getting a careless and reckless ticket, and that would have lost them their job. You know, it would have caused them a lot of trouble. You know, it set them up with court dates and stuff just because he had a super bike. You know, if you get a lower displacement bike, you know, like, you'll risk that a lot less and everything. There's just a lot of things to think about with these. You know, they're risky, they're hard to finance, they're expensive to insure. You know, like, I don't blame people to move on. You know, like, if you decide that, you know, these bikes aren't for you anymore, that you need to move on to something else, dude, you do you. I mean, it's your life. Personally, I still love them. I love these bikes. This is like the reason why I ride. You know, like, this bike is my dream bike, and I'm not getting rid of it because of expensive insurance. I'm not getting rid of it because of, you know, whatever, because it's hard to control yourself, you know, not going too fast and everything. I'm not doing it. You know, I'm keeping on these bikes. I might get a Supermoto, but I mean, I couldn't imagine a life without a sport bike. I mean, until like my wrists give out or like my back gives out, I'm gonna stay on these things straight up. This is where my heart is, right here. I love Ducati. I love Panigales. Sport bikes are awesome. Ain't getting rid of this anytime soon. But I really don't blame people that do. I mean, it's definitely a lifestyle. You know, really, I mean, it's a lifestyle that's hard to justify. Like, you gotta spend a lot of money to get into this game. And to stay into it, it costs a lot more than most other bikes. The day that you decide that you want to start riding super sports, or even a super bike like this one, is going to be the day that you decide to spend a lot of money. And you know what? You might get yourself in trouble too with how fast you can go. But you need to have some self-control, and you need to be smart too. You know, if you want to go fast with nobody's around. You know, if you want to do something stupid, make sure you don't endanger anybody else. But at the same point, I'm a firm believer in making your own decisions, but also taking responsibility for those decisions if they turn out to be bad. So if you fucking kill yourself because you're going 130 on a city road and you smash into the side of a bus, you know, you got to accept those consequences. Make sure you don't hurt anybody else in the process. You've got to make these dumb decisions that we make sometimes out here. But anyway, guys, I think it's an end of the era with a fucking super bike. You know, sometimes I guess you're gonna have to step up. I guess some people make that decision, you know, but it's not for me. I love these bikes. I'm gonna stay on these things for a long time. Anyway, thanks for watching. This is like the third video, I think, of Ride Every Day in November, so it's going great. Stay tuned for more videos. Please make sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button down below if you haven't already. Deuces.